Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Lili Fifield, and you are watching Somos Uno. Today's special guests are here to help us get informed and inspired in the hopes of putting us one step closer to that American dream. After meeting with them, we hope to introduce you to the great people that make up our diverse communities. Today, we're going to have a special Skype interview with Joseph Brooks. He empowers individuals to realize their value and significance in the world and through inspiration and encouragement. And we're going to look back at one of my favorite interviews with friend of the show, Sisily Marin. You won't want to miss that. And lastly, we do have Ignacio, my co-host, back to be speaking with the Aquino Ruiz team to discuss the San Diego housing market. This is Somos Uno. Our first guest is an actor, author, and speaker, Joseph Brooks. He strives to inspire and motivate his audience through the telling of his own story. He hopes to help others make positive changes in their lives while also being an advocate for women to bring awareness to human trafficking. Now, we do want to welcome Joseph to the show. Thank you for joining us and taking this time to speak with us, Joseph. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Lily. How are you today?
Perfect, thank you. I'm really excited to learn more of this new project. I hear you do a lot, but I'm really excited to hear about this book. Tell us all about it.
Well, I wrote The Value of a Single Woman for my daughters, actually, about 20 years ago. And I wrote it because I wanted my daughters, I have 3 of them, now adult women, to realize their significance growing up, to realize that they didn't have to settle or compromise, that they could expect the best out of life from their workplace, from guys and relationships, no matter what they were going through, that they're significant and worthy and valuable. So and I did that for my daughters, but I figured many other women could benefit. So I wrote it and updated it a couple of years ago and got it out there to other women, and it's been quite a success.
Now, it's interesting that you say that you wrote it for your daughters. I know, a lot of studies have shown that the way that father figure treats their daughters, that's what they look for in a relationship. So I'm sure that they're covered there. They don't need to worry because it sounds like you're a really loving dad. And although you did write this for them, it seems like it's going to be able to help a lot of women. So you decided to just share your wisdom with everyone. What made you open up those personal feelings that you had for your family and just be able to share it with everyone?
Well, the thing is, I'm a man, and a lot of young ladies, unfortunately, have been hurt by men. And so I wanted to restore the hearts of many women from a man's point of view and just show the significance and value from our heart. And so I've gotten feedback from different women who were happy because they had given up on dating and relationships and men in general because they've been hurt. And so after reading the book, it restored their faith in God and man.
That's beautiful. And very quickly there, we touched on human trafficking. Why are you so passionate about this subject?
Lily, one day my wife and I were driving down the street and she yelled out at me, "Look, look, look." And I looked over and there was a young lady being thrown in the back of a car. And I went to follow the guy. He had thrown her back and he had taken off and I couldn't catch him.
Wow.
And that burned inside of me. And that young lady was being taken. And having 3 daughters who have been subjects of human trafficking, they've all been approached. But I trained them at an early age what to look out for and how to protect themselves so they weren't victims. But I know that there are a number of young people, women, girls who are victims on a daily basis. And so I got involved in a movie that focuses on anti-trafficking, and we're trying to bring awareness to people so they understand what's going on.
I think it's beautiful that you're doing that and you're able to use all of your talents to spread these messages in different creative ways. Now, I do have you here right now. So for our viewers that are watching at home, what are some of those signs that they can watch out for or that they can spot and maybe hopefully prevent a situation like this?
Of course, that's a great question. There is something going on right now where they're Traffickers are using older ladies to go up to young ladies in the mall. My daughters have been approached. And these young ladies will take some stationery from a church, and they'll say they're from a church, and they'll ask the young girl to go to church with them. They could just leave the mall and they go, where there's a vehicle waiting to abduct these young ladies. Another scheme that they're using is older ladies to say that their car is broken down and they need help. So if the young ladies will come out and just help them, but there's someone out there waiting to abduct these young ladies. And typically, this takes place in malls where they're young girls and young boys. Boys, they're subjects as well. So you have to be careful of those things when you leave a store. Make sure you aren't being followed. Look in your rearview mirror all the time. Make sure that if someone takes a turn with you more than 3 or 4 times, that you drive to a police station or fire station just to be safe.
I think this is really important information. As a news anchor myself, I do report on a lot of human trafficking stories, but I have to be honest with you, I've never heard about these elderly women approaching females and young kids. And I have to say, if somebody approached me, I might be even willing to help someone at my age. So I can't imagine a young girl or a young boy being out and really thinking that this person needs help and being brought into a situation like this. Now, you mentioned very quickly that there's a film. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, I met with a director. His name is Jomer Delatry, came from Hollywood. And the trafficking issue is dear to his heart. He supports a foundation called the Hugs Foundation, which helps restore young ladies and young boys that have been trafficked. And he is an extremely creative director. And so he came to San Antonio because we're one of the #1 cities for trafficking. And he wanted to produce the film here. Unfortunately, he made me the bad guy. I'm the trafficker. But it's an extraordinary film. It'll be released in 2020. The name again is Grandmaster. And the website is www.grandmasterfilm.com. And you can find information on trafficking, how to prevent trafficking, awareness, statistics, anything you need to know.
Well, I've never heard of such a film, but I think it's very important. Sometimes we have films that don't necessarily cover subjects that could affect us, but this is very near to all of us with that example that you gave that could affect anyone in your family or someone you know. I really appreciate that you came on with us. And although you did say that you had to play the bad guy, you know, somebody has to make sure that they get the word out there. And it seems like you're doing your part in every way to help different people. And we really appreciate having you on. It's very important information that you're sharing with us. And I would love to have you on once it does debut, once this new film comes out, and talk a little bit more about it. Wonderful. Thank you for your time, Joseph.
Lily, thank you so much and have a fabulous day, okay?
You too. Thank you. Well, there it is. Another perfect example of what Somos Uno really means. We are one. Well, don't go anywhere, because up next we have friend of the show, Sisily Marin. This is Somos Uno.
Introducing S1 Connect, Synergy One Lending's mobile app, the digital way to verify your assets to purchase a home. Download in your app store today. Step 1, click on Automatic Check. Step 2, select your institution or search manually. Step 3, enter your username and password to receive a security code. Step 4, click Save and Continue to submit your verification of assets. Synergy One Lending, a lender committed to speed, ease, and expertise.
Our first guest has created a name for herself in the entertainment industry through passion and determination. She has become a bright light that inspires and guides others, wanting to get involved in entertainment while still pursuing her passion for philanthropy by working with a nonprofit organization called Feed the Homeless Project. Joining us now is Sisily Marin, but I call you Sisi. Can we call you Sisi this segment?
Yes, you can definitely call me Sisi.
So good to see you. It's been a while since we've seen each other. And I know you very well, but I feel like there's still so much more to get to know. A lot of the viewers that don't know you yet, you're Cuban, you are from Cuba, and we met each other through Univision. We'll get to that later, but first, tell everyone how it all got started, how it all became this beautiful dream that you've been living. Honestly, it's a true inspiration.
Thank you, Lili. I'm so happy to be here. Well, I was born and raised in Cuba. I moved to Miami at 14 years old, not knowing a word of English. So I literally started from the bottom, you know. And my journey, oh my God, it's been so long because I got said no so many times. And I don't want this to sound cliche, but it's very true, especially, you know, being Latina. And back then, you know, 10 years ago or whatever, it was so much harder. You know, diversity wasn't really a thing. So it took a lot of, you know, sacrifice and determination. But I moved to LA. I started doing beauty pageants. I became Miss Cuba Reina Hispanoamericana, which was something that I never thought I would be able to do because I wasn't really raised in pageants. You know, being raised in Cuba, you don't have those dreams. Those are dreams, but they're not something that you can call tangible. You know, you never think you're going to be able to achieve anything like that. So for me to do all these things that I've been doing have been such an amazing journey. And yes, we met in NMLS, Univision, a long time ago.
In our youth.
In our youth. No, I'm kidding. But it was such an amazing experience. And honestly, that was one of the things that really pushed me towards, you know, moving to Los Angeles.
Movies, pageants, you know, you've done so much. How do you do it all? What, like, you know, has been one of the biggest highlights from these past couple of years after Univision?
Oh my God, I have so many, and I'm so blessed to say I have so many highlights. I did a commercial with Channing Tatum, a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, and it was very amazing because it was my first time doing a commercial with like a celebrity that I admire, look up to, and he was the nicest person, and that was a really great experience. Another highlight has been being on movie sets. You know, I am in one scene of a movie that just came out that's called I Got the Hookup 2. Is the sequel to the first one that was in '98. Oh wow! I know, we're little girls, and I got to be in the second one, and that was really amazing. From, you know, meeting my favorite actors and actually chatting with them, or, you know, being on a TV series like I am right now that we just wrapped our first season and it's going to air soon.
What is it called?
It's called Sangre Negra in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in English. It's bilingual, and this is something I love. It is a lot of Latin characters and actors. You know, I mean, there's a blend of a lot of people, but it's a big Latin community, and I love that. It's a show that allows us to be us, and you know, if we're acting and we're improving and then we say something in Spanish, that's okay too, because the show is called Sangre Negra. You know, so it's a really amazing show. You guys should all watch.
When can we look forward to it, and where?
So it's going to be airing on El Rey Network. I'm still waiting on dates, on release date, but we just had the wrap party for the first season. We're all very excited.
That's cool.
I can't talk a lot about it, but I also have another project coming up. So when I can, I'll talk about it. But there's a lot of things happening that I'm really excited about. And, you know, other highlights have been being in fashion weeks. And this is another thing. I know I talk a lot.
That's why you're here. That's what we want you to do.
Being on fashion weeks, for example, this is something that I wanted to tell little girls out there. I have never been with a modeling agency ever.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes, and this is something that people don't know. I have always been freelance when it comes to modeling, and how I've done everything I've done has been going to open castings, open calls, going to networking events, meeting people, doing all these things that people talk about all the time. I have done them, and I have met people, and I have traveled to New York and traveled to Miami, and it's just been an amazing experience, and I'm so proud to say that obviously there's people that have reached out and helped me, but I have done it on my own.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's reaching out, it's knocking doors, it's doing everything, and I imagine very long nights, although you look gorgeous right now. I saw you posting some stuff yesterday, even like late into the day, although you probably had to get up early today and looking this glamorous. You know, I know that it takes a lot of work, and like you said, a lot of people don't see it. They don't realize what an agency can do for someone, how much work that eliminates, and you're doing it all by yourself. That's even better. I think you should feel even better getting to this point, doing it all. I know you were saying you want to like get this message out for little
Yes.
girls. And I know that you told me you've also been working with little girls, but I want to save that for when we come back from the break.
Yes.
Because I know you've been doing a lot more. You said there's a lot of healing inside, and now that I feel like you've become the person you are, you want to give a lot back.
Yes, and that's also with my YouTube channel. I don't know if we have time.
Of course.
So that's why I started my YouTube channel as well. It's called That Cuban Girl, because I want to mix, you know, my culture, but I also want to do things that I love, you know, like fashion, hosting, acting. My friends actually here, we've been filming, recreating movies and making them our own to, you know, because I also have like a movie podcast that I talk about movies. And so I've incorporated all of that into my YouTube channel, and also because I want to collaborate with artists. Like I wanted to get to a point where a lot of like makeup artists or actors or singers, whatever, we all come together and we create things and we put them out there. And I think it's just, that's what I wanted to do with that platform. And so I wanted to invite everybody to check out the YouTube channel, to please subscribe, and to be a part. I want my brand to not just be my brand, but to become an empire of goodness and a community.
Sisi, and on that note, like you said, it's not just, you know, just growing inside, but also we need to grow outside. And I know you've been doing a lot to give back to the community. So we're going to have our viewers stick around for the next episode. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Okay, don't go anywhere. Right, coming up next, we have a special Skype interview with author Elizabeth Vodova from San Francisco. You won't want to miss it. This is Somos Uno.
Video marketing on social media is trending as one of the major means of advertising and building your personal brand in 2019. You're probably asking yourself, what does Synergy One Lending do to get a front row seat to this show? You may not know this, but Synergy One Lending has access to the lights, camera, and action that brings social media marketing to a whole new level. Want to check it out? Look at that, we're already here. It's crazy, right? Thanks, guys. This is the main studio at the Synergy One Lending headquarters in San Diego, California, which is equipped with 3 remote-controlled HD cameras, 10 total TVs, and many high-quality production studio lights. Right now, I'm sitting on what we call the Storyteller set, which was recently updated with new furniture, a 9-monitor wall behind me, a giant touchscreen TV, and of course, the green screen, which you just saw. By the way, this is where I filmed my show this week today. Over here is our podcast station, which is equipped with 4 high-quality microphones and headphones and is capable of receiving phone calls in real time during your podcast session. This right here is our main desk. Outfitted with 2 TVs and a customizable color LED strip, this desk is now the home place for many other podcasts and shows produced by Synergy One Lending and Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. So you must have a ton of marketing ideas now floating around in your head. This studio is the perfect way to create videos for your social media awareness and grow your business. Here, you can and will deliver a digital mortgage and digital content that has no equal in mortgage lending today. Be a modern loan officer. We hope to see you here soon.
Welcome back. Now, our final guest is part of a real estate duo called the Aquino Ruiz team, who have a passion for helping people find their dream homes through hard work and teamwork. Joining us now, we have real estate agent from Windermere, Jose Aquino. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges for homeowners nowadays. I know there's a lot of misconceptions on what it takes to purchase a home, and I think that's part of the people that you service.
Yeah, a lot of the challenges that we see, you know, it's a lot of myths also. People think they need a large down payment, you know, 20% or higher. And also people think that, you know, they need the greatest credit score ever. So that's one of the challenges that we're running into when people want to achieve, you know, their their home purchase.
Absolutely. You know what? There's a lot of programs that we have with Synergy that can help you, purchase a home with very little money, sometimes with no money at all. We have programs that'll help you with a down payment as well as closing costs.
Yeah.
We do a lot of loans for veterans as well with, zero down and credit scores. I mean, that's one of the things that you mentioned that people believe that they have to have perfect credits to buy a home, but that's not the case. I mean, there's programs with like FHA that are very flexible for first-time home buyers that you just need a minimum credit score to qualify for those, but you don't have to have perfect credit nowadays, right?
No, you don't. You don't. We've helped multiple clients. I mean, a lot of clients with so-so credit score, and we're able to push them and get them to their dream home. And again, with the down payment, like a lot of people, it's hard for them to save up the down payment with the high rents, and the high lifestyle. So programs like down payment assistance programs can help them purchase a home with literally almost zero down. Yeah,
because for example, in San Diego County, real estate is pretty expensive.
Yes.
So let's just talk about a home that is $500,000.
Correct.
Most people believe that you need 20% down to purchase that home. So 20% of $500,000 is $100,000.
Yes.
I mean, most people don't have that much money saved up.
Nope.
But there are solutions, right? I mean, there's programs from the state, from the cities, from the counties. There's all kinds of assistance because home ownership really is a part of what the government wants for our families, to keep our communities together, to strengthen families. I mean, home ownership kind of is the cornerstone of everything. I mean, from there, your personal wealth, your family's, security and everything comes from, making homeowners when they were renters.
Yeah. It's a good way to, at $500,000, you're looking at, like you said, $100,000 down payment. Plus the closing costs, right? There's also the extra charges you need to pay to purchase a home. We've helped multiple clients, with 3.5 down, 3% down,
yeah,
or 5% down. Even at $500,000, we help clients with 0% down. So it's just, I guess, it's just kind of knowing, where you stand and what credit you have and knowing where you stand in order to purchase a home.
I think one of the challenges that people have as well is just they don't want to go out there and find out for themselves because they don't want to be turned down. I mean, nobody likes to say, hey, you're not good enough to buy a home or you don't qualify, and they're afraid because their income, maybe some credit challenges and stuff like that. But with that, you have to know where you stand and you have to put a plan together to purchase a home. And if you can't do it now, we actually set people up to that. We can give them a roadmap. Even though you can't purchase today, we're going to help you purchase in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, whatever their individual case is. But I think at the heart of all this is the education that you and your team provide to homeowners, right?
Yeah, so me and my team, my partner, Giovanni Ruiz, we hold these monthly first-time home buyer seminars, and we usually have a spot. We provide, food and drinks, and it's 2-hour class, mostly informative. Obviously, we want the business eventually, but it's more for the community, just to let them know, look, this is how you buy a home, this is how you do it. Now here's a lender, talk to them. If you can't buy a house now, we'll set you up in a year or 2-year plan. So then in 2 years you'll be able to become a homeowner.
It is, and you know what? That's one of the things that people have to know where to go, where to get answers. And so one of the things that you and I had talked about is, the experience that people have with dealing with different types of loans. And one of the things that I found out as a lender is that, the Hispanic community, we're different. We're different in the sense of, maybe our parents, grandparents aren't as educated as the newer generation is. Mm-hmm. So when they come into my office, they bring me their mail like in a plastic bag, say, hey, here's my bank statements.
Yeah.
And, and that's something to me very humbling because it makes me understand that they are fully putting their trust in us. Yeah. They're putting their trust in me as a lender. They're trusting you as their agent to go find a home that's not only safe for their family, but it's affordable to them in the neighborhood that they want to be. So I think a lot of this really comes back to trust. So let me ask you this. How long have you been doing real estate?
I've been doing it for about 7 years. I'm starting into my 7th year next year. So far it's been, the best decision I've ever made in my life.
It is, Jose. One of the things that my parents always taught me was if you do something right, you're always going to be here through good times, through bad times. And I know in real estate, we've had kind of a roller coaster ride in the last several years. But I think those people that are here still are people that are doing it right. Whether that's a lender, whether that's a real estate agent.
Right.
And so, I want to thank you for your service to the Hispanic community, because I strongly believe that if you are a primarily Spanish speaker, you should speak with somebody that speaks your language. Just because, there's no misunderstandings, there's nothing missing. If they have a question, they can ask you directly as the agent.
Yes.
If they have a question about the loan, they can ask me directly as a loan officer, and we're communicating to them. And the Hispanic community is tight. As you know, if you take care of them, they're going to refer you their friends, their family, because they trust you. And as long as we keep treating them right, servicing them as much as we can, giving them the best payments, the best rates, the best homes, in the best condition, they're going to come back to us. And so I definitely appreciate, your heart for the Hispanic community, that you and your partner go the extra mile to service the Hispanic community. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
So the easiest way to get a hold of me is obviously through my personal phone, 760-532-4075. Or if they would like to sign up for one of the upcoming classes that we hold every month, just go to AquinoRuizTeam.com. And there's a link right there where you can sign up for the upcoming class. And just to note, we hold them in English and also in Spanish. So, we're English speaking and then Spanish speaking clients that obviously it's a little bit harder for them to do English.
That's awesome to say. Thank you very much for coming to the show. I really appreciate you sharing all this information with us.
Yeah.
And, the one thing that we definitely have to have is more free education for our community. And I think by holding these workshops, I think you guys are providing a service, because even though they don't use you guys or me for the lending, you know what? We're going to be able to give them the tools that's going to allow them to go out there and be smart home shoppers, to understand what questions to ask. But more importantly, on my side as a lender, what questions not to ask. Because there's some questions that if you tell somebody, for example, what's my rate? Then a lot of the times when somebody asks me that question, it's not that simple, because it's dependent on everybody's credit scores, income qualifications.
Right.
And so to me, they are coming to me as the expert on the loan. And so they just want to start a conversation. And so when I hear that, it kind of gives me an insight into how educated they are in the lending process. Kind of like with you, there's definitely questions that they should be asking as far as repairs on the property, termite, inspections, that by using a professional like you guys, that's the value that you bring to the table.
Yes.
So thank you very much for serving the community.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, now that we've gotten our daily dose of knowledge, it is time to wrap up this episode of Somos Uno. I want to thank our amazing guests, Joseph Brooks, Sisily Marin, and Jose Aquino, for being with us today. For more content, you can head to our website, SomosUnoTV.com, and of course, all of our social media sites. Also, if you can't get enough of Somos Uno, you can always watch and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. I'm Lili Fifield. Don't forget que no se les olvide, we are one. Somos Uno.